Welcome back to Scoop Insight, where stories meet strategy and ideas drive impact. I'm your host, Azim, and today we're diving into the world of mobility, innovation, and people-powered platforms. This is Terence Fernandez, our editor-in-chief.
Hello, guys.
Joining me are two dynamic voices from inDrive, Govin Kumar, who is the country representative, and Shireen Kaur, who is the communications manager for Southeast Asia. Okay, so inDrive isn't just another ride-hailing app. It's a global tech redefining how we move, connect, and negotiate value. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See, before we started, he already jacked you already. Dynamic voices. Not that you aren't, but we are very eager to hear from you guys about inDrive and what it is all about and where it's heading lah.
Sure.
Sorry, Azim.
Yeah, okay, just a bit more introduction. We'll unpack inDrive's unique peer-to-peer model, explore how it's challenging industry norms, and hear firsthand how Govin and Shireen are shaping the brand's presence across Southeast Asia and beyond, especially in Malaysia, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So buckle up. This isn't just a conversation about transport. It's about trust, transparency, and the future of urban freedom. Okay, so Govin and Shireen, can you tell us a bit about yourselves and your roles at inDrive?
Sure. I'll start first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my name is Govin, as you mentioned earlier. Govin Kumar, but you can call me just Govin. So I'm the country representative for inDrive Malaysia. Been with inDrive for close to about 3 years now. So gone through most of the inDrive part of Malaysia since its existence, and I'll be happy to share with you, in the next few minutes on what inDrive beholds for Malaysia.
And so you can just call me Shireen because relatively I have a very long name. Yeah, or you can just call me Shay as well. So basically, I'm responsible for all the communication surrounding the whole Southeast Asia, and Malaysia is one of the prime market that I take care of. So I've been with inDrive for a while now, and so any creativity, communications is something that we look at. Yeah.
Okay, so for the listeners who or the viewers who are not familiar, what is inDrive and how does it differ from traditional ride-hailing platforms?
Okay, so I'll start this off, right? Maybe I'll go back a bit more, behind how actually inDrive started. So inDrive actually started in a city called Yakutsk, which is one of the coldest cities in the world, minus 60.
-4 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was during, I think, a New Year's Eve, where our founder wanted to actually move and go to a party or something. And what he realized was that the taxi fares was extremely expensive. And he thought to himself, why is this happening on a day which, supposed to be a day where people are supposed to move, freely. And then he got back together with some of his friends, and then they actually started this thing called inDrive, where you can actually book a ride at an agreed fare. So technically, what he wanted to do was he wanted to fight injustice during that period where he felt that this is not how it's supposed to be. So we want something fair. And that's how it all actually started. Now, fast forward a few more years. Now, inDrive is actually operating in more than 40 cities and across 40 countries and more than 900 cities around the world.
And how many million downloads of your app?
I think the global number was over
36 million. I think that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. That's like the second most downloaded mobility app in the world
After what, Uber?
after Uber.
Okay.
Second most.
Yeah,
So,
second most downloaded.
Globally, we are known as the top 2 player, as the most downloaded app, and also as a travel app as well. So we have this recognition, and we fall right after Uber. So I think in the global level, so in different markets that we are in, of course, our unique pricing model is something that we follow compliance as well. There are countries that we have this model, but there are countries we follow compliance 100%. Because there are countries you can't have this unique model. So what we do here is we will advocate the transparency, the fairness of how our app is able to provide.
So other countries, some countries do not allow you to negotiate for the price.
Yes,
But-
yes. Because in terms of like the compliance landscape, so for example, like Philippines, right? So Philippines, they have a fixed fare matrix
Okay.
by the government, and that's something where we will need to comply for every player that's coming into the
I
market.
mean, why can't the government allow you to let market forces decide what is the fare of, at that time, right?
Okay, I think like for this, right, it is quite crucial because when what the government is trying to do, let's say like for Philippines, right, they are trying to be fair with all the operators because when the e-hailing operators that is participating or getting introduced in the country, right, we have this thing called CPC slots. So
What's
so CPC slots are basically slots that are provided to these e-hailing companies of how many slots you can actually get a driver on board. So
Oh.
example, if let's say for the quarter one, there's only 20,000 slots. So these 20,000 slots, it will be equally divided with all the e-hailing operators there. So hence the fare metrics that they have. They have like a baseline fare metrics for us to follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in Malaysia, inDrive is the only operator that actually does
The unique pricing
the
model.
unique pricing model.
Yes, yes.
What is it, a patent? The others cannot do it, or what?
I think this goes back to our DNA, right? Because globally, also we are the only one who has this unique pricing model. Because our competitors actually tried in I think Latam region where they tried to actually replicate the model, but then they were unsuccessful because everything will tie back to our commission structure. Because globally, we also have the lowest commission fee for our driver partners, right? We are at 10%. And right now for Malaysia market, we have been around for about 5 years and we are at 10.99%. So there was an increase of only 0.99% early this year. Right?
Early this year. So from 9.99, we only went up
Okay.
by 1%. Beginning of this year, but all this while we have been actually at 9.99% in Malaysia.
So the pricing structure is a bit more transparent, would you say?
Absolutely, that's what we preach within inDrive. Transparency and fairness
For the customers, the partners, and for
for the
yourself.
for the customers, for the drivers. What 10.99 basically means is that the drivers are actually taking back more of
Over
what they're actually
80%,
earning.
yeah.
Over 80%, correct. Over 80% of what they're actually earning actually goes back to them.
Over 80% what they earn goes back to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, so like 100%. So it's our fee is only 10.99%, right?
So
Okay.
So they get back,
89.
80 over 80%, yeah.
So for every 10 ringgit, you
Yeah.
get how much? Every 10 ringgit
They,
charge?
they take 8 ringgit.
Take about 8.
Yeah, about that.
About 8 ringgit plus or
about
nearly
8
9
plus.
ringgit.
driver
Yes,
takes
yes.
back 8
Yeah.
ringgit plus.
Yeah, 8 ringgit plus. So that
Okay.
will be, something that we have been advocating globally actually because we want to ensure our drivers get back their sustainable income. They are out of the roads many hours. So we just ensure that, for our drivers. Yeah.
So signing on the sign-ups for the partner drivers, you have, big numbers of them. Are there a lot of e-hailing drivers in Malaysia right now that have registered with inDrive?
I think it goes back to the industry itself, right? How the industry has been actually evolving. So what used to be, e-hailing used to be sort of a, it'll be a nice to have kind of service. And then, the pandemic came and then, the whole industry basically accelerated. And then now you have, e-hailing as a primary source of income, right? So people see or people view e-hailing as a source of income. Some, yes, of course, supplementary income is there, and then some of them keep that as a main source of income, right? So again, it speaks in the volume of numbers as well. So I think the latest study in 2024, based on the gig economy itself, out of the gig economy workforce, 70% actually driving or actually depending on e-hailing, right? So now, when it comes to your question on the numbers, of course, the numbers are there for us. We have seen a healthy growth in numbers, especially drivers who actually come, and that's why I think to support that as well, we actually launched a driver center in Cyberjaya. So we actually have a driver center in Cyberjaya, where drivers can actually walk in, meet someone in person, face to face. If you have any doubts, any questions, you need to sign up as a driver, you have any issues with your account, there is someone on site to actually help you and to get the help which you need. So that's why we really value our drivers as much as, yes, of course, customers are important, but we really value our drivers as well.
Oh, but the driver center is should be a basic facility for your drivers, right?
Yeah. Yes. So, but, this driver center, we had it for a few years, but, we are also making it, like a training place and all that, for us to better upskill our drivers, to better, ensure that in terms of compliance, everything, they are well updated. So these are the things that, we do at our driver center. Yeah.
How big is your footprint in Malaysia now?
Right now, we are in our three key cities, would surely be Klang Valley, Johor Bahru, and Penang. So these are like the main three key cities that we are in.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so like exactly what Shireen said. So 3 main key cities, that's where we really operate. And of course, we have obviously sites on the smaller key cities, because I think that will be the next focus moving forward. So there will be focus which we will actually put on the smaller cities, or but to answer your question, yes, the 3 main key markets are.
So in terms of downloads in Malaysia, the app downloads in Malaysia, in terms of your number of drivers in Malaysia, can you give us some numbers?
I think in terms of like the app downloads is something I need to get back to you on, because it's something that we need to double check. But in our driver numbers is very healthy for Malaysia. We have at least over 30,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
How
So
many, sorry?
30,000.
30,000.
Yeah. Yes.
Across the 3 cities, right?
Correct. I think last year our vice president Mark Lauren, he actually gave an interview. That inDrive is planning to actually hit that 40,000 target.
40,000, yeah.
So we are safe to say that we are
Getting
very
close,
much
yeah.
healthily heading to our target.
That 40,000 is specifically for Malaysia, right?
Absolutely, Malaysia only.
So is Malaysia your largest market now in Southeast Asia?
So Malaysia is one of the largest market, but I would say that our largest market now in Southeast Asia will be Indonesia. Philippines, and then will be Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have like a Gojek type of thing in
Yes,
Indonesia?
of course we do.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I think Indonesia, in terms of the fleet size,
Yes.
is big
It's
because
big,
we've got
yeah.
car and motor.
Yes.
Right.
Whereas in Malaysia, we only have car.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah, so that's why the size, and of course Indonesia in terms of size and population and
It's
things like that,
big.
is way bigger.
So in terms of your expansion later for services later, you will also embark on delivery services, e-grocer.
That is something that is in the pipeline, because just we were talking just now, right, regarding we came across inDrive has a super app, right?
Yeah.
So what interesting thing here is before we introduce any verticals or any services, we will actually study the market, how what are the demands required,
Yes.
what kind of services that people want more, and that's how we actually introduce Govin.
Yeah, so it is within the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right. So these things are within the ecosystem. Now, does it actually fit our country? Is it really required? Is there a demand for that? That is that is where we need to really understand what really the market wants.
So if you look at your benchmark in Malaysia, right? So who do you chase, right? Who set the benchmark? Who do you want to beat? I presume it would be Grab lah.
I think when it comes to competition, right? I won't say that we are competing to beat anyone, right? But more of complementing, like things that our competitor is unable to do. That's where we fill in the gaps. Hence, our unique model. That's where it plays a role, right? So I think like for the question that you asked just now, I think it's more of complementing rather than looking to beat our competitor. Yeah.
The industry needs more variety.
Yeah.
The industry needs more competitiveness. And I think
Like
that's where we come in.
interviewing politicians, lah. Come on, it's a dog eat dog world out there. I want to kill these fellas. I'll be number one.
I mean, if we're number one, we don't mind. But yeah, we are more of complementing it.
So the vacuum that you're looking at filling is that negotiated. What's the term that you use?
Okay, we
Unique.
use it. Yeah, go ahead.
Unique pricing model.
Unique pricing model, which the others have not been able to do well.
Well, we have been doing it. I'm not sure if I can't speak for others whether they
Right.
have tried or not. But yes, so we do it because we have been doing it since day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did first.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So your in terms of the growth of inDrive, what country can I look at to say that okay, maybe in 3 years' time inDrive is going to be like that in terms of all the facilities that you are offering, e-hailing, P-hailing, e-grocer, and all that lah. Is there a model out there that we can look at, say that in 3 years' time they're going to be like that? Malaysia, inDrive in Malaysia is going to be like this country.
So there are several markets out there which does extremely well for inDrive. So we're talking of Latin America, we're talking about Brazil and things like that. But I think if we want to look at something within our region,
Right.
I think
South
correct me if I'm wrong,
Asia.
South Asia, right?
Yeah.
I think Pakistan is like one of the biggest markets.
We're a top
out
one
there.
Pakistan,
over there. Yeah.
Pakistan.
Pakistan and
Interesting.
Nepal. So we are like the top one player over there. And like Pakistan, we also have like a grocery chain, and we will be rolling out a super app there as well.
Correct.
So those are all in the pipelines. But within the Asia region, Pakistan is like our star child.
Okay, that's your benchmark.
Yeah. So for the consumer, if I say install the inDrive app here in Malaysia, will I be able to use the same features and the same services in the Philippines without having to reinstall or re-register? Is it possible to have a cross-country, operation of the app?
I think that's where the convenience come into play, because once you download our app,
Okay.
wherever inDrive is present, you can actually just use us there.
It's a one global
Yeah,
app.
it's a global
It's a
app.
global
It's
app.
a global
They will
app.
just change the geolocation,
Okay.
and then you can access the verticals, the services, and anywhere you are. You don't have to re-download different apps and things like that.
So there's an e-wallet, right? Presumably there's an e-wallet in the app. Do I insert some credits? So because I'm paying in Malaysian ringgit, and I'm in Manila, for example, and I'm using the app. So how do I actually go about this? Like putting inside the e-wallet and then.
Okay. So to answer your question, inDrive's payment model is cash, and for now in Malaysia, is cash and do it now transfer.
I see.
And then of course we have also enabled drivers to actually have their QR codes,
Right.
for them to actually scan. That's in Malaysia. We have not gone to the e-wallet model yet.
Right. I see.
From a customer perspective,
I see.
for you to actually make payment.
I see.
But I mean that has not actually hindered our. It has not actually hindered anything, because people are actually okay. I mean, Malaysians are somewhat, it's either you carry cash or most drivers actually
Just
accept
QR,
QR codes
yeah.
and
Yes,
whatnot. So
yes.
that has never really been a pressing challenge for inDrive in Malaysia.
But that's the same in Philippines as well.
Yep.
You have the QR, scan available and also
Okay.
cash. And like some markets like Mexico, we have like the whole fintech ecosystem, with the credit cards
Right,
and all
right,
that.
yeah.
So again, it boils down to exactly what are the country demands. So like Mexico is best to not carry cash at all.
Right.
Because the
Okay.
landscape, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. What they were delivering to the cartels, and another way of delivering, drug and drug money. But you had some issues in Singapore. Okay, can you enlighten us why the Singaporeans don't like you?
I don't think they don't like us. So you want to get on that?
Which Singapore issues?
I think the recent
There's
one,
a lot
right?
of your Singapore issues.
No. So I think we just have the
Oh,
recent
you mean there's more
one.
than one?
No. I think he was just curious, the cross-border one.
Yeah, the cross-border issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know about that. But yeah. Yeah, so the cross-border issue actually was raised by the LTA of Singapore. So they mentioned that, we noticed that, there are drivers ferrying
Activities,
passengers
yeah.
across the border and whatnot.
Right.
So of course we take these matters
Very
very seriously. And we immediately launched an investigation. And what we actually found out was there was actually no real completed,
There
rights.
was activities, but there were no completed rights.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah, so there were movement from the driver's side. There were orders being raised from, I think, Johor Bahru to Singapore. During the Independence Day, people on a cross-border and all that. So they just think, having a private car will be easier to just, I think will be convenient. So what happened was there were, we did track some movement, some activities. And then immediately we replied to LTA. We explained to them the whole situation. And then, concurrently, we also updated to our local regulators, just so that we are transparent.
Correct.
And from the business side, what we did is to ensure this does not happen again. It will not have any sort of activities from our side. We blocked the geolocation straight away. Yeah, because again, when we download our app, and then when there's no geo restrictions, accidentally there will be a certain order requests and stuff like that. So what
So
we
within
yeah,
I think
go ahead,
Singapore
go
now
ahead.
you can't actually use
Yeah.
the
You
inDrive app.
use the.
Yes,
use
you
inDrive.
can.
So are you?
Once and for all, we said okay then.
Yeah. So are you? So you're basically not going to consider Singapore.
No. There are plans, but for now, because we want to be compliant, right, and make sure that this kind of glitches don't happen. So we just block the geo strategy at the moment to safeguard all the necessary processes.
So you don't have, or rather, you do not have a proper monitoring system to make sure your drivers are complying, because inDrive, I mean, if you correct me if I'm wrong, is basically an acronym for independent driver, right? So you want to give the autonomy to the driver, the freedom to the driver to determine the routes, to determine the fare. But on the flip side of the coin, there's also the issue of lax monitoring of your drivers. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the situation that you are in right now, and you're trying to address?
So I think the situation currently is that we have actually upgraded our monitoring systems to actually watch exactly how compliant are the drivers according to the laws of what is actually stated by our regulators. So we have actually upgraded these systems to ensure that we have better visibility on every of their documents, because I think that is the main thing. The core of becoming an e-hailing driver is that you've got to have your PSV, you've got to have your EVP, you've got to have your e-hailing insurance. There's a lot of documents. There's a lot of things which drivers have to actually get through before they become a full-fledged driver who can actually operate on the road, right? So what that also means is that we also have to keep up with the entire process, and we have to be able to actually have the visibility of what is actually happening with all these documents. So that's how we ensured that we have upgraded all our systems.
So in Singapore, there were two issues. One is the cross-border thing, okay, and the other one is the Singapore does not allow haggling.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
So
which means they
if-
need to amend some enactment. They need
So
need
if-
special
yeah.
permission.
So if ever we, get into the Singapore market, right? That's where we will deploy the same model what we have in the Philippines.
Philippines, yeah.
Because in the Philippines, there is no bidding model. Like I mentioned, they got a fixed fare metrics for e-hailing.
Fixed fare. So Philippines
Yes,
is fixed
fixed
fare.
fares, right? They give you a baseline. Then from the baseline, you are able to, quote your prices. Lah. But there is like a very strict process to it, and that's why we don't have that unique model there in the Philippines. So we follow and we really comply to the local regulations there. So if we ever go in Singapore, of course we will respect the regulations and comply to it as well.
Right. I think the whole idea what inDrive is actually showing is that yes, we comply, but at the same time we are also flexible enough to operate in countries where if they say that if this is how it's going to be done, then we are flexible enough to work with the authorities of that country to say that we will work in the following way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now for the hardball questions. Okay. Oh,
I thought we already started it already.
Slightly harder now. Okay. Okay. So, inDrive, like another e-hailing platform, was placed under a 3-month probation by the Transport Ministry over EVP non-compliance. That's correct. So, can you just explain to us the crux of the issue? Because on according to the Ministry of Transport, there were some violations, alleged violations committed. But what was it specifically that they
It's not
wanted?
alleged lah. Memang ada violation.
What specifically were they pinpointing, and what corrective action have you taken?
Sure. I'll take
Yeah,
this.
I think you can walk
Yeah.
them through slowly.
I'll take you slowly and then explain it. So, April 2024, we were given a notice of revocation. Okay, so that's something very important, and I would like to stress it out because a lot of people were under the impression that the license was actually revoked, right? The license was actually never revoked in the first place.
2024. This was 2024.
No.
This year.
This
right?
year,
This year. April.
April
You're
2025.
talking about the intermediate business license.
Yes.
IBL.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
IBL, or they in the local term they call it LPP, lesson pengantaran.
Yeah.
So so April 2025, we were handed the notice of revocation, citing that there has been some compliance issues regarding this, and right after that, all we have actually done is that we have actually been engaging with the authorities, which is APAT in this case, and I think it's fair to say that we have actually corrected the issues which they have highlighted, and I think it's quite open out there. It is regarding the EVP issues, right? So there has been an oversight in the administration of the EVPs, but again, focusing back on the corrective actions, what we have actually done. Of course, constant engagement with APAT. We have met them, spoken to them. We have had everyone who visited them. At the same time, we have also explained to them, and right now we also sharing,
Access.
certain data. We are sharing access to them, so they have access on our drivers. And in July, end of July, we were very thankful to APAT that they have actually reinstated our license with a 3-month probationary period.
Which expires on October 24th.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
3 months is.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 months
Yeah.
from July.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24th. Yeah.
So the crux of it was that a number of your partners or your drivers were not displaying the correct permits or did not have the right EVP stands for e-hailing vehicle permit, right?
Yeah,
So
e-hailing
they did
vehicle
not the ministry found that a number of your driver partners were not compliant with this, and therefore
That's what yes was cited by.
Okay.
So that was actually what was actually given to us. However, what we also actually realized when we actually did our checks was that we were in transition of systems, right?
Okay.
So we were in transition of systems, and there was a lot of migration of driver data from one system to another system, and that's where the gaps actually appeared. The gaps actually appeared. So we're not. What we would like to refute is that our drivers were there. They had necessary documents. However, the gaps during the data migration was where these issues actually surfaced.
But they were operating inDrive on an inDrive app with EVPs from other e-hailing companies. You can't do that also, right? Each company needs to have one EVP, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, we issue our own EVP, so
Right.
I wouldn't be able to comment if drivers are actually driving using.
So that comes back to your monitoring mechanisms again, lah.
Yeah.
So it appears to me that because of your model of giving more autonomy to the driver, there is a problem in controlling them,
I
in,
think.
in monitoring them.
Okay. I think just to clarify a little, from Govin's explanation, right? So because early this year, we have this new system where, we have a stringent monitoring system and all that. And during then, the data migration, all this happened, to which there were gaps, right? I think, the giving the autonomy to the driver, it's not really the issue here. Because end of the day, it was an administrative system glitch from our side, to which we acknowledge that, right? And once that was addressed, and we work hand in hand with APAT, and also we were grateful with MOT for giving us this opportunity, and know that they were able to actually see all the the corrections that was done from our side, because we really speed up the whole setup and the whole system, everything. We really speed that whole process up, because our this issue became to a point where our president himself came down, and meet APAT, and explain, and also were very apologetic that this happened. So back to our drivers, right? Yes, we give the freedom of choice and everything to our drivers. However, we also give freedom of choice to our youth, right? They are able to, have a very transparent overview on the app. It's up to them if they want to accept the driver. It's really the freedom is shared.
It's willing buyer, willing seller situation. So
Yeah.
nobody's forced. A
Yes.
driver is not forced to actually accept a
Yes.
fare. A passenger is not forced to accept a particular fare as well.
Yes.
It's a mutual thing. If a driver puts out proposes his price and the passenger actually agrees, that's it. I mean that's a valid transaction, and then it happens again. It happens before the ride actually happens.
Okay, but what about your due diligence on your drivers?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of process is that?
Due diligence for drivers.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the very beginning, when a driver is actually registering for inDrive, like I mentioned, they have to actually submit all these documentations. PSV basically is the license for them to actually drive on the road. EVP is something which is issued by us, so that is our responsibility. E-hailing insurance is again to cover these drivers, and that's the driver's responsibility to actually have a valid e-hailing insurance. So our due diligence is to ensure that these documents are always in order, right? We have to be able to produce this if we are asked. and we have to ensure that the records are always kept up to date. So I think that's where the new system, which we were talking about, that the upgrade has actually enabled us to actually keep track of all this, which makes that our due diligence process is a bit more stringent now.
Yeah.
So the onus is on the driver to insure himself or herself.
The insurance part.
Daily hailing, the e-hailing insurance.
Ah.
Yes.
The onus is on them.
Yes.
And they have to provide you with the details.
Correct. They
of
have to provide us
of
the cover note,
That,
yep.
that coverage, lah. And
Yep.
then, so say okay, I want to register as a driver on inDrive, right? And so how long does it take me to actually get my first passenger?
It can.
What is the process?
There are
The
certain
verification
processes,
team,
yeah.
yeah.
So there are certain processes which are owned by us, okay, and then there are certain processes which is also on the regulator side as well. So from our side, of course, we have our verification teams there where they verify, all your license, your PSV, everything is actually in order. Your e-hailing insurance is actually in order, and then there's the other side, which is the EVP, where we have to actually apply it on, the ISPKP system, they call it, right? So which is owned by APAT. So that is then a process which is handled by APAT, and then once a driver is actually,
Good to go,
assigned, his EVP, the EVP is actually registered to the driver, then you are good to go. So
EVP is applied by the platform,
yes,
and the PSV is applied by the driver.
by the driver.
Okay, that is the public service vehicle
Yes.
permit, right?
Yes.
License. Okay. No, the reason I'm asking is also because why can't we get all these things? It's not really your fault per se, because you are doing a business, right? You want to get off the ground running, and you look, I'm a businessman. If I can cut corners, I'll cut corners lah. If I can count, well, not counting, that's a very bad thing to say. Not counting. If we can cut corners, if we can expedite certain things, all within the ambit of not having the MACC knocking on my door, and orange is not a nice color on me. So the fault here, or the responsibility, is on the government agencies, on the authorities, to make sure that all the players, before they get their first passenger, their first customer, that everything is everything is in tip-top shape. You've got all your compliance issues sorted out. You've got all your licenses, your permits, and all that done. But I guess because the government is so eager to get foreign investment, get people to come in, so, and of course with there's this issue with, like, one of the complaints was that inDrive is being treated with velvet gloves, despite the obvious breaches of compliance. So of course stories are out there, because if you pull the plug on inDrive, then you have 30,000 drivers out there, and they're all on multiple platforms anyway. But they will, you're going to affect the income of this mainly B40 group. And of course, inDrive is Russian. We want to be part of BRICS. And the last thing you want to do, we want to BRICS to piss off the Russians by expelling, inDrive and Maxim. Maxim also had the same problem, right? So by expelling these Russian-based companies from Malaysia. So there are a lot of other factors that have come into play, which if I was, inDrive or Maxim, if I was a businessman running the e-hailing, so I would take advantage of the. I'll exploit the government's need for have us there.
I think, you want to go ahead?
First things first.
Yeah.
Before we get into the few questions there, a few things inside there, right? But I think first things first is, inDrive is not,
Russian,
based out in Russia.
So
So we are based out in Mountain View in California, right? So that's our official HQ.
And
Okay.
just to add on, right? And I think 2 years back, we actually sent out a press release. When the issues started with Russia and all that, we actually exited out of the country, right? And we shut off our operations there, exited out of the country, and we set the whole thing up in California. And the second base HQ will be in Kazakhstan.
Correct.
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, and right now, for Malaysia, it's basically the Southeast Asia hub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, that is like the more of a clarity flow of inDrive right
Correct.
now. Yeah.
So right now, inDrive Malaysia, made up of all locals.
Yeah.
All locals are working, and then like what Shireen said, inDrive Malaysia is also the APAC hub for APAC, right? So a lot of the heads for APAC roles
Based
are
here.
actually based out in Malaysians and are Malaysians.
Yeah.
So that's some of the progressive things which we have actually done
Yep.
and still undertaking towards a better and localized company.
Yeah.
On passenger safety, I just have two questions in relation to that. One is about the vehicles. Is there an age limit for the vehicles used? One, and secondly, I mean, inDrive has been receiving quite unfavorable attention over the past year or two, especially in regards to passenger safety. One case that Scoop.my wrote about was about inDrive banning a driver who was involved in an assault incident. And then he was found to have struck a female passenger with a metal water bottle.
Yeah.
This
Happened last
news,
year.
yeah,
Happened
it
last
happened
year.
last year.
Yeah.
There were incidences in Laos, and there were incidences in I think numerous places lah, and at different times last year and this year. I mean, coming from these cases, how has things changed in terms of passenger safety? How have you improved the processes for, again, like Terence mentioned, the vetting of drivers? Do you check whether they have passed prior criminal or felonies or records? How has passenger safety improved in light or in wake of these incidences?
So I think to answer your first question about the car age, so that is a regulated thing. So we have to follow by the regulation, and the regulation states that cars up till 15 years is actually allowed.
So there's hope still for my Proton Inspira, which is 13 years old. I can.
Right. So up till.
Okay.
So
I don't think in your case the car's the problem.
right? Now, the second part is the
safety,
passenger safety,
yeah.
right? So, one thing is safety is a concern and a priority for any platform,
Yeah.
inDrive included, right?
Yeah.
We view safety as something which is absolutely important. Let it be driver safety, passenger safety, and now in terms of what you are actually saying now, the passenger safety, how have we evolved? Now, in terms of the product itself, right? We have there are stated requirements which an app needs to have to pass and operate in Malaysia for e-hailing. When it comes to that, SOS, SOS buttons,
Yes.
family emergency contacts. You can actually
Live
share your
location,
trips.
Okay.
live
You can
trips,
share, you can share your live location wherever you are, and of course our chats are there as well.
Yes.
So while on the move, you can still chat, and you can actually be connected to someone who is there. So those are some of the key features. Of course, SOS is like the
Basic
the,
lah.
the
Yeah.
basic
Like the
one,
panic
right?
button.
Yeah,
The
the panic
panic
button
button,
is
yeah.
always there, but there are many features within the app which we have actually done
Okay.
to ensure passenger safety is always there. Now, coming back to the driver safety part, so the vetting of the drivers, right,
Yeah.
which you mentioned. So that is the idea of having a PSV, right? A PSV is basically a license which already has actually done.
If
You
you
know,
That-
checks
okay.
and everything.
if to get a PSV, you need to be free of criminal records.
Yep.
You need to have a healthy, you need to have a healthy body because you go through a health checks as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So that is the role of the PSV, and we are how to say, we are very confident with how the PSVs are actually provided out to or given out to drivers. and that is part of our vetting process for drivers.
So just to add on, right, when it comes to our user safety, the features that we have in app is something that we upgrade time to time, right? So the case that you mentioned from last year, since then, not only we have upgraded our safety features, but towards end of last year, we also collaborated with PDRM. We collaborated with Women Association, where we have the whole safety training for drivers, the workshop. So we have such activities, and in every part where we are, we will deploy safety campaigns. This is to communicate the changes that is being done on the app, the new features, and also to ensure the safety communication is something that we advocate wherever we are for both drivers and users.
Right.
Yeah, so these are some things that inDrive do, and one of the main, I would say the main pillar that is very essential to us. Yeah, the safety. Yep.
Azim, one of our colleagues, Vivian, if you remember her, she tested the system. Okay, but not inDrive. She tested one of your competitors to register as a driver.
Okay.
She got her first passenger within 15 minutes of registering.
Wow.
So there's zero due diligence. But it's not you guys, to be fair. So it's not you guys. It's not the big boy as well. Because when people start thinking about them, but one of the other players.
Yeah.
So hopefully, across all platforms that has changed, that has improved. I think it's all down to compliance. If the law is there, you just follow lah.
Yes.
Kan?
Yes.
Obviously, Singapore is a lot more strict.
Yes.
And so my issue with our government is that we tend to bend over backwards for law is a law lah. You have to comply lah, kan? There's no two ways about it. Where Singapore is concerned, they are very anal about it lah. I mean, if you don't fit if you don't fit the plan, if you're not there, if you say you cannot do it, black is black, white is white lah. Over here, black can be a
I
bit
think
grey.
to be fair, Terence, both, I think this is speaking for our industry, right? Both APAD and Ministry of Transport. Yes, there are saying that we got it easy because we are a foreign firm and things like that. But I don't think, right, Govin, that's the point. Because
we followed the rule book, basically.
The rule book that was
whatever
provided
the rule book
to
was
us.
provided, and
we
they outlined
actually-
that this is what needs to be done, and that's exactly what we did. So there was no extra favors, nothing of that sort.
No, but that is the complaint of most local firms. I'm not talking about your industry. I'm talking about in general. That that foreign players are basically they roll out the red carpet, and then you can take time to comply. Where the local players, where I'm not talking about your industry alone. I'm talking in general. They have to go through 27 application approval processes before they can even open their doors for business. That kind of thing. So so the issue is not you. If it's not for you, one day maybe when we have Tengku Zafrul here, we can have that conversation with him.
But back to it lah. Both I think APAD and MOT is very commendable. Yes, in terms of rules and all that, right?
Sure.
So you're saying, do you think the enforcement process, especially when it involves action against inDrive, do you think it has been fair to you guys, or do you feel that there was a disproportionately applied to you guys the law and everything? Do you feel that you were targeted?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
We strongly refute any claims like that, if there is. But I think everything has been handled in a fair manner. Whatever they have brought up was fair. How it was handled was fair, and we don't have any issues.
Because the gaps were found from our end, to which we corrected.
Okay.
Correct.
And we went through the whole process.
So you don't feel like you were singled out. You acknowledge that
No,
there
we
were some
acknowledge-
lapses.
we acknowledge the
We
whole
acknowledge
thing.
it. I think we were quite open about it. That we acknowledged that the oversight was on our
Okay.
side. So
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 there's
what
no-
was your conversation with, I presume Apart lah mostly, yeah? It was like, okay, we are inDrive, okay, this is who we are. We want to start operations in Malaysia, but but these are the few things that we need to do, but we haven't done yet. Correct?
So I think it was more of like where the gaps were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Right, Govin? You want to walk us through this? Yeah.
So it was mainly on the gaps because we are already operating on a license, so meaning that our app is actually approved
Yeah.
to
So
operate.
legal.
Right?
Legal.
Yeah, it is legally approved to actually operate in Malaysia. That is a separate process altogether. That I can.
So it was like, okay, tak apa, Encik Govin, you jangan risau, you start dulu.
No,
kita
no,
akan
no,
uruskan yang lain.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. So in terms of the legality of the app, we are legal to operate. We have a license to operate, right? I think the gap was in the administration of EVP for drivers. That was where the main issue was, and I think that was the main thing which was actually highlighted by the authorities as well. That this is something which you need to fix, right? And you need to fix this, and you need to ensure that this
It
doesn't
won't
happen
happen
again,
again. Yeah.
right? So that's where there are two parts of it. One is we fix this, and then one is we have the system to actually upgrade, and we accelerated that upgrade. We migrated things much more faster. We moved much more faster, and then we also said that okay, we are also happy to share with you guys this access, so that we are going to be transparent. You are going to see what we are seeing.
Yes.
There's nothing.
The whole
no
live
difference.
dashboard, right?
It's a live. It's a live dashboard. Yeah.
So that is
The
an
live
excellent.
dashboard, that's the one that you want to present.
Yes.
Terence, we're almost out of time, but before
We need to...
we need to wrap up soon. But before that, we still have some more questions.
Yes.
The gig workers bill,
Okay.
Terence. Take it away.
Can you share your thoughts on the gig workers bill, and if you are supportive of it, and what are your concerns? What are you hopeful about the bill? How it will change the industry? There's been and I mentioned this to the minister also, that there's too much emphasis on the e-hailing sector when the gig workers bill encompasses stringers, part-time writers, part-time actors, juru solek, makeup people. So what is your take on the gig workers bill, and do you think it's helpful
Sure.
for the industry, evolution of your industry?
I think it is a great foundation to begin. I think this is a new breakthrough for Malaysia, because this could be one of the first in the regions, could be one of the first probably in the world, right?
He's going to start ripping in the pie. It's a great foundation. It's like, I know where he's making it.
So inDrive, or myself, my view, right? On behalf of inDrive, we absolutely welcome this bill, because I think finally the workers get recognition. They are recognized in the workforce. Put it simply, the numbers are massive. They are an engine, right? To the
Growth
Malaysian
engine,
GDP, to the Malaysian growth. So I think the recognition which they're going to get, the protection which they're going to get from this, I think is very, very vital, and it's something which we really welcome.
It's very progressive as well. Yeah.
I think the issue is not whether or not the e-hailing platforms or other companies, other platforms welcome this bill, or this now is a law. I think the issue is all the finer details.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the complaints stem from the lack of fine detailing. That left a lot of gaps, leaves a lot of questions, leaves a lot to be desired, pretty much. So do you think that it was, while you welcome it, do you think that it was passed a little too fast? Maybe it was bulldozed.
Okay. So you see, the whole bill is very progressive, right?
Right.
So it's something that we welcome. However, it is very, very important on the implementation phase.
Yes.
It has to be executed by phases after having a constant dialogue with stakeholders.
Right.
Because this is something where you need to give platforms, you need to give the businesses out there some time to actually absorb and understand exactly how is this going to affect us.
Yes.
So the implementation phase is very crucial. in this gig economy bill, right? And how, and one more thing is, right, because gig economy is why do people be gig workers? Because of the flexible, of the freedom, right? We cannot over-regulate this
Correct.
industry. We will lose this essence. Because if you over-regulate it, where is the fine line between full-time employee and a gig worker? So these are the things where, we really hope that it
Yeah.
is.
So what is your concern? Your concerns are like you start paying them SOCSO.
No, SOCSO I think is
Yeah.
absolutely
SOCSO is from by the
by
the worker, right?
By the
Yes,
worker,
yes.
and I think it's a great start for
Yeah.
drivers to actually have some sort of safety net, right?
Yeah,
When it
yeah.
comes to these things, I think there are many components of this gig workers bill. In terms of having their own tribunal, they have a tripartite council.
That's right.
Right?
So but that's no non-issue for you because your rates are negotiable anyway, right?
Correct. So we have already molded into this
Yeah.
open policy
Okay.
From
based
the
on
start.
from
Yeah.
the very start,
Yes.
because our model has been as such. We have always been transparent. We have always been open about our
Correct.
fares, our prices, our commission structures.
Yeah.
We have been very open about it. So for us, we don't see it as a much of a challenge. But like what Shireen said, right? I think it has to be proportionate
Yes.
when it comes to this bill because we want the competition to stay. Because if this is if it is over-regulated, right?
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Regulation is good, but over-regulation
Over-regulation,
means that it could either stop players from coming in, platforms, right? Or it could even hinder workers from actually joining because they feel like, okay, now I choose this work because it gives me the freedom, and then but
Yes.
now I've got all these red tapes along this way, right? To actually complete before I actually become a gig worker. So we need to, like what Shireen said, we need to find a fine
line,
balance, in between that. And I think we should be able to actually achieve that. I think Malaysia has actually taken a very hybrid approach when it comes to this bill.
Yeah.
But it sounds like from the get-go, there was not enough engagement from the ministry to the players or the ministries involved.
How many meetings did you have
Yeah.
in Drive?
To be fair, okay, so I've had
It's an open dialogue. right?
open dialogue
It's
sessions
an open dialogue session.
at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So we were consulted about two to three times.
Open dialogue lah.
Open
But
dialogue.
there was never a one-on-one
No.
conversation between.
It was always a group.
Kasuma and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
So
guys, yeah.
to which we hope, there will be right after this, they should have a more constant dialogue and maybe have a closed door, discussion
Yeah.
or even try to get feedbacks, or like creating a survey or something.
Yeah.
Just try to get feedbacks of all the stakeholders before the next implementation or a new introduction, under this law lah. So we really hope that constant dialogue.
Now we know that the bill has been passed
Yeah.
in Parliament. It's now at Dewan Negara, but they are
Yeah.
looking at enforcing it on May 1st, Labor Day, right?
Yes.
Next year.
Yes.
But to be fair to the minister, he's in terms of the continuing to engage. That's what he's doing. He had a big town hall yesterday at Finas
Yeah.
Yes.
to deal with to talk to people in the film industry.
Yeah.
The gig workers in the film industry about how this benefits them. So like you say, over-regulation. So what more or what less can be should be done or should be done less by the government to ensure a thriving gig industry, apart from having all this. Safeguards are good.
Yeah.
But talking about SOCSO, they already have a scheme for gig workers under Perkeso anyway,
Yes.
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So you're worried about bureaucracy. You're not worried about the tripartite.
I think
No,
those
no,
are
those are, yeah.
landmark achievements whereby drivers would be actually heard out.
Yeah.
When it comes to a tribunal or what. I think the results are yet to be seen.
Yes.
For this. It's great, but then it is great as only a concept.
Yes.
But I think what we want to see is
The
where
execution,
the
yeah.
actual results from it, right? So if having a tribunal and if a driver is only going to get his case heard after a year,
Yeah.
that means something is wrong.
Yes.
But what it calls for is it needs to move together hand in hand,
Yes.
meaning that speediness, it has to be
Efficient,
time,
yeah.
it has to be efficient. All these components of the
Yes.
gig workers bill. I think that
Because-
would make it
Yeah.
a success.
End of the day, this whole bill will be measured by the tangible results
Yeah.
that it gives to the industry, right?
Right.
Because like right now, it's more on the what you're going to get, how you're going to get,
Yeah.
things like that. But this where we were talking about the implementation phase, the execution and results. I think this is where everyone will be having a look at this lah.
The biggest
Yeah.
question will be: Does it make a life-changing moment
Yes.
for a gig worker?
Yes,
I think
yes.
that is the biggest question to actually ask from this gig workers bill. So
Yeah.
again, very hard to speculate now.
Yep.
It's still very early days.
Yep.
But we really welcome this move.
We
from
hope
the
that it actually improve the gig worker lives.
Absolutely.
But not a reverse where it will affect the income and sustainability and things like that. But we really hope that with this new law and the implementation, it can really progress this industry further.
I suppose that's all
Right.
to it.
Yeah.
Have we covered all bases? I think
I
we're
think
just out
we
of
can
time.
sit here for and talk for another hour, but we basically covered a lot of space. Well, all the best to you guys and
Thank you.
inDrive
Thank you.
as you expand your footprint in Malaysia. And the challenges of complying, please comply.
No, we are 100% compliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be some good news for you guys on October 24th.
Yeah.
Well, they could extend the thing, right? Not really, lah.
We're not aware of any of that, but
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
what we are focused on is to ensure that we comply, we continue complying, and 24th, we'll be ready to roar again.
Yeah.
Okay. Govin, Shireen, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
thanks.
Thank you so much for having us.
Great.
Thank you for joining us.